morning. Fired up. Let me take everybody on mute. I need energy. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Let's get it, you guys. Fired up. It's about to be an epic Monday. Shout out to everybody, here on a Monday. Whether you're watching live or you watch the recording right, it's all good. Always best is live. I'll tell you guys that. If you can be on live, just the energy of live is unlike anything else. But the recording is still a good thing too. So today I'm excited. We're going to be listening to a video by T.D. Jakes and Bishop T.D. Jakes, as his title is. And I really like Bishop T.D. Jakes because, yes, he's great in the spiritual realm. He does, preach, and he's got some incredible messages. But another reason I really like T.D. Jakes is also T.D. Jakes is an entrepreneur, right? Not only inside of, the church world, but also, he's an author. He's partnered on some of the entertainment industries, like some of the Medea films. I think he's partnered on a few of them, right? So he's an entrepreneur, and he's a person of impact. So I really like his story because this is the biggest thing that I always take from people. It's like, there's one thing to talk about theory, what you think might happen. Hey, this is what I've heard, right? Kind of what you learn in school. You're learning from books, from a teacher that may or may not have experienced it, right? Which is okay. But there's nothing like being able to experience something when taught from somebody who's teaching from experience. It's just totally different, right? So I'm excited to learn from T.D. Jakes. This is one of his new top 10 rules. I don't think anybody maybe has heard it. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but it's pretty new. So get your notebooks ready, and we'll get some live shares at the end. So let's get into it without further ado. T.D. Jakes, dropping nuggets.
Imagine a long all of his years of being God, he's never made a chair. He's never made a table. He just made a tree. Yeah. And the rest of it was up to us. Right. When God hands you a tree, imagine a table, a chair, imagine a wall in a room, imagine a log cabin, imagine what it can be, imagine what it can be, imagine what it can be. So I'm in South Africa and I'm on a safari, and I'm really like tripping off of this safari, and I'm out here with all of these big animals and stuff, and I notice the elephant is moving around. The elephant is strong and he's big and he's tough, and his power's in his weight. And he throws his weight around. He throws his weight around. What can you do with him? Because he's so big. God made him big as a defense. The lion roars. When he roars, everybody is almost paralyzed in fear because God gave him his roar as his defense. The cheetah says, I can't roar like that, but I can run like the wind. The cheetah, he goes running through the woods because God made him able to run because that's his defense. The eagle spreads its wings and soars into the air and says, I can't run, but I can fly. God let the eagle be able to fly because it was his defense. And I'm walking around in the jungle and I said, well, Lord, I can't fly like the eagle. I can't run like the cheetah. I can't roar like the lion, and I can't throw my weight around like the elephant. What did you give man as his defense in the whole ecosystem of life force? What did you give me? He said, I gave you a brain. Your brain is your defense. That's why God didn't make chairs. He only brings it halfway, and then lets you imagine,
collaboration,
create, develop. You understand what I'm saying? The problem with church people is that we are taught that God makes furniture. So we pray and 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 pray. Oh, I need a table. I need a table. God, give me a table. Give me a table, Jesus. Just one table, Lord. If you give me a table, I'll praise you. If you give me a table, I'll serve you. And God says, I don't do that. I make trees. I want you to look around your life for trees, not tables. God's going to bring it within the reach of your mind, and your creativity is going to take it the rest of the way. And it's going to turn into apps, and it's going to turn into Apple phones, and it's going to turn into computers, and it's going to turn into satellite systems in the heavens. Look at what all we were able to do. No other creature, no other species has sent satellites up into the air, created smartphones. Look at what we did with our head. Why are we in church not using our head? I don't understand it.
Rule number 2, leave your comfort zone.
Let's talk about the eagles for a minute, because the mother eagle, after sitting on the eggs, protecting it with her life until they hatch, and going out and swimming and attacking prey and bringing back food until they grow, then turns around, the same beak that fed them and the same body that warms them, takes them out to cliffs and throws them over the edge. It is not that she has turned against her children, but she knows that they will never find their wings in safety. The eaglet learns to fly by confronting its scary place. And it's not even trying to fly. It's falling and flapping and thinking mama is crazy. I'm calling Child Protective Services. I gotta get out of this. But in the process of falling and flapping and falling and flapping and falling and flapping and flapping and flapping and flapping,
come on,
and flapping and flapping and flapping.
Rule number 3, focus on the vision.
You wouldn't be in this room if you didn't have a vision. You wouldn't be in this room if you didn't have a vision. Worry about the vision more than the provision. I find that the provision comes to the vision. A lot of people ask for provision who have no vision, and money runs from blindness.
Money runs from blindness.
Yes, yeah, money runs from blindness. Money.
Bishop, you might need to unpack that one.
Okay.
For some.
If there is no purpose, there is no provision. And I'm not talking about physical blindness. I'm talking about blindness so far as career and future. Until you figure out, the first thing the bank wants to know is, what do you want to do? Anybody who's going to invest in you wants to hear, what do you see? What do you see? When Jesus healed the blind man and touched him the first time, he asked him, what do you see? Because his response is based on his answer. So the man said, I see men walking as trees. He said, I'm going to touch you again. Until I clear up your vision, we can't leave this spot. The first time I went to the bank, it was amazing. They wanted a 7-year projection of our company. And I thought, wow, I didn't know anything about business. I thought, what in the world do they want that for? I could write down anything. What they're really asking you is, have you thought through the future?
Right. That's right.
They're asking you, can you see? Because if you can see, we will fund what you see, provision. But if there is no vision, how can there be provision? So when we want something, ask God for provision. But you need to be asking for vision. Because if you get a clear vision and you're passionate about it, people support people, not ideas. So if you're not excited about it, why should I give to it?
Rule number 4, be present in the moment.
Man, hold up.
I was telling my church Sunday, if you go to my stream our service Sunday, you get to see a big, ugly 6'2" man start whimpering and lips start trembling and
got you
trying not to cry.
Yeah.
I had no idea when I was pastoring in Smithers, 40 people, 50 people.
Smithers, West Virginia.
West Virginia, on Easter.
40 on Easter.
On Easter, bro.
Right. On Easter.
On Easter. That's counting pregnant folks and dead members. We had about 50 people. I had no idea that the potter's house was in me. You stumble into it. But until you dignify the 40, you don't get the 40,000. The problem today is that people are so busy going after the 40,000 that they don't respect the 40. And if you don't do your best with the 40, you won't get to the 40,000. So all of my life, I stumbled into relationships and situations and circumstances that I had no idea were going to happen in my life. But as you dignify the present with your attention.
Yeah, I like that.
To be present in the moment.
I like that.
That is so important. And sometimes I have to make myself do it because I'm such a planner. I'm so strategic. I'm really 10 years ahead of where the calendar is right now. I'm waiting on it to catch up. I got plans.
Rule number 5, be effective.
I never wanted to be famous. I prayed to be effective.
Wow.
Yeah, I prayed to be effective.
And you were, and you are.
You know, Paul, I found out that if you are effective, effective will bring fame.
Wow.
Fame is not anything to be, fame is not anything to aspire toward. It is something that you endure. Yeah, it's something that you endure. Wow. Fame robs you of something that money cannot buy. Normalcy, privacy, seclusion, which is a healthy part of mental health, to be able to have sabbaticals away from crowds. Even Jesus escaped crowds at times to renew himself. So to all of you that may be out there thinking, you know, God make me famous, change that prayer today. It's far better to be effective. And I tell people all the time, everybody famous isn't great, and everybody great isn't famous. A lot of people are afraid to build from the ground up because we are shown instant success.
Yes.
Overnight wonders.
Yes.
Somebody put something on YouTube and they exploded and now they're famous. And then we got people who are famous for being famous. It used to be you were famous because you did something. Now you're just famous. You're just famous. Lord God. And we got everybody who wants to walk around and just be famous. But the first thing God said wasn't be famous, it was be fruitful.
Right.
Be fruitful.
Yes.
And if being fruitful makes you famous, then that's okay.
Rule number 6, don't hold yourself down.
And it is not what you think about God that is holding you. It is what you think about you that is holding you. Oh, let me try it on them. It is not what you think about God that is holding you. You got great thoughts about God. It is what you think about you that keeps bringing you back down to playing the same role in the same movie over and over again. You will not accept God's script. God has a script for you to go by. You will not accept God's script because you are allowing weaknesses, mistakes, traumas, who didn't love you, who wasn't there for you, who didn't stand by you, to define you, and you are letting the enemy script you for the life Jesus died to give you.
Rule number 7, develop good relationships.
Relationships are your greatest resource. People who don't like money don't like resources because everything that's ever going to come to you is going to come through a person. That's why you got to be careful how you treat people because it's not guaranteed that it'll be somebody you like, your friend. They won't necessarily be your color and they may not have your theology. Okay? But God may use them to bless you.
Rule number 8, tap into your creativity.
If you didn't get a good job, you have to create a good job.
Come on.
Yeah, you have to create a job.
Yeah.
You have to carve out a niche in the earth for yourself and be creative. You must realize that we were created by a creator who created us in his likeness and in his image. And if our creator is a creator, then I have to be creative. Somewhere down inside of every single solitary person in this room is creativity, whether you tap into it or not. We were not meant to follow a marching band and follow it behind other people's creativity and not discover our own. You have creativity, you have passion, and you have purpose, and giving people the freedom and the wherewithal to build that. I suddenly realized when I sat down to write this book that Everything I ever experienced, I had to build from the ground up. I never inherited anything. I mean, my father gave me a watch, and and I appreciate it. And you know, my parents weren't so much into what they left to you, but they were masterful at what they left in you.
Rule number 9.
Man, fire takeaways. Let's get into some shares. Rox, what do you got?
What is up, you guys? Happy Monday. I love this video. Love TD Jakes. Man, so I really liked what he talked about when he said, if you're not excited about it, why should anybody buy into it? And it comes down to, for instance, again, like I'll speak to majority on this line are distributors. And so whatever it is, like whenever you're excited about something, like it doesn't matter what's in it. It doesn't matter what it is. People will buy into that. Like I remember 5.5 years ago when we first started our journey, I was so excited, you guys, about the products, about the business. Like I was just so excited about it all. And because of that, we were able to attract so many different people. We were able to just go because of our excitement, and we let our excitement lead us, and through that attract so many different people into our business, and as far as clients go too. So remember, it's all about how you speak about what it is that you have. So if you're not excited about it, why should anybody else be excited about it? So remember, excitement is everything. And I really loved when he said, for anyone to invest in you first, like they have to know what you see. And I think that's so key whenever we're doing business, whenever we're mentors or working with the mentor. Like for instance, for us, when we're working with our mentors, like we ask them questions based off of, yes, where we are now, but where we want to go. And from there, they're willing to invest their time into us because they see our vision and where it is that we want to go. And because of that, they invest in us and they give us the things that we're not necessarily able to see. But you got to be so crystal clear, like on what it is that you want and what you want your vision to be. You know, like I know so many different people, like they don't have a clear vision of where they even want to be in the next 6 months. So if you don't have a clear vision of the next 6 months, you can't blame anybody but yourself as to why you're not going where you're going or why people are not investing time into you, because you have like what he said, like you have a muggy vision, and it's like you have to get clear on what it is that you want, where you're going, make it known, and share that to people. And yes, have your vision like super crystal clear, and then after that, back it up by all the action that it takes in order to get to where it is like that you want to go. So I'll leave it there.
Fire, great stuff. Some of my biggest takeaways are, you know, I love when he talked about God never made a table, right? And he said, you know, people are asking, I need this table, I need this table, I need this table. And then you look up and there's 20 trees around you, right? And I've seen this post one time and it was really powerful. It said, you know, people pray for cake and then God gives you eggs, flour, sugar, and water, and you get mad. And it's like, you got to remember that the tools are going to be provided you, you know, grateful for the tools, but it's not going to be done for you. Like a lot of people don't understand that we, and when I say we, I mean the person is a crucial part of the creation, right? Jim Rohn tells a story about a guy who was a gardener. He was like, yeah, man, this plot used to be really in tough shape. And it was God's plot. And then I came and he made it look all great. And then somebody came by and said, man, look what God has done. He was like, yeah, God has definitely done that, but you should have seen it when it was in just God's hands, right? We partnered on this. And it's the same thing in your life, right? God, the universe, you know, whatever you look at as the creation or the bigger power or however you look at it, is going to give you the tools, but they're not going to make it for you. So when you bring that into maybe your Herbalife business or your Herbalife results, right, you're going to have the tools. You might have the trainings, you might have the chats, you might have the events, you might have the products, you might have the meal plan, you might have all this stuff, right? But you've got to play your role, which is putting it together. And that's where I think a lot of people fall short. There's one person that looks at the stuff and says, why isn't it the way I want it to be? And then there's another person that says, okay, I know I need to get to work. And they're just two different people, right? And usually what we call volume in Herbalife reflects that. It's not the creation of it, it's just a reflection of it. So what I would say is start looking around for the tools to make what you've asked for. So for example, this is what happened for us when we started Herbalife, to be honest. Right before Herbalife, we were already asking for something. We knew that we didn't want to work a job forever. I could see very quickly, to be honest, when I looked at my bosses, I was like, I don't want to be here for 10 years. I don't want to be here for 15 years. They look unhappy, unhealthy, they don't see their family. And I was like, for a $7 an hour raise, which 3 of it is going to be taken by taxes, I was like, hell no. So I already knew that we wanted different. So we had already started asking. You got to ask and then you receive. We said, what could it be? And this is what I'll encourage you to do. Start to design your future without practicality. And what I mean by this, remember when you were a kid and you were like, man, I want to grow up to be like this. I want life to be like this. I want you to take that same energy and say, let's say 5 years from now, if you could design, and your life is really made up of your days, right? If you could design your day to be any way you want it, what would it look like? What would you do all day? What would make you happy? What would be your purpose? Who would you see? How would it feel? You know? And then from there, ask for it, and then you might see some tools appear. So why I say this is we had started saying, you know what? I wish we could work together. I wish we could help people. I wish we could have an abundant lifestyle. I wish we could travel. I wish we could be our own boss. I wish we could work from where we want. I wish we could work from home. I wish we could make a difference in the health of people. And then guess what happened? Herbalife distributor. You can work from anywhere. You can be your own boss. You can make as much as you want. You can help a lot of people. You can travel the world. It was like, whoa, these are the tools. Now we just got to get to work. And that's the difference, because it wasn't going to create it by itself, but we did have the tools to create it. We had the vehicle. So you might be asking for these things and you might be banging your head against the wall like, man, I'm working so hard and I'm doing this. This is the difference. You got to understand. If you ask for the tool, if you ask for the thing and then the tools are given, but you're only giving 30 minutes to an hour to the tools a day, how are you going to build your future? We started with 5 jobs. Roxy had 2, I had 3. Very minimal time. But we took the time we had and we started working with the tools. And then what we did was we took the result from the tool and we didn't go buy a lot of stuff and take trips. What we did is we invested it back into the project. For us, it was a president's team project, top 1% of the company. And we said, okay, we need to create more time in our schedule to be able to work with the tools more. Work to get more result from the tool. So number 1, start to create that vision for your future and ask yourself, what could I have my life be? What would I want my life to be like? Then from there, start to be aware of the tools that start to present themselves. And then step 3, 1 was ask, 2 was tools, 3 is work. Take the tools, put it to work. No matter how much you want, you can't just look at flour, eggs, water, and sugar and get a cake. You got to mix it. You got to do it. You got to bake it. You got to do it. It still takes work. And last thing, it takes patience. You're not going to make a cake in a minute, right? It's going to take some time. So you got vision, you got tools, you got work, you got patience. That's the recipe right there. Woo, man, got me sweating over here. All right, let's get some takeaways. Let's see. I see Belly right there getting some nuggets with her morning. It looks like ice cream shake, mug cake.
As my oats, I shake.
Nice. Let's get it. Give us a takeaway.
So one of the things that really stood out for me, that T.D. Jake said, was to be effective. Like, not just look for to be like known or like famous, but like be effective to what you're giving out to people. And then if famous is what you get out of it, then good, right? But so I've always like read and like heard on some of the personal developments that I do is you always want to bring good service. So be of service before you even seek, being successful or like famous. Another thing is like develop good relationships. I think that's crucial, especially within our business. Is really important for us to develop like good relationships with people, with our PMs, with our distributors, with everyone, right? And then one thing that he said is like, it is not what you think about God, is what you think about yourself. So it's so true. I love TD Jakes, but that's what my takeaways were.
Great takeaways. I love it. People, relationships, and then also service. Love it. All right, next, I think Susie stepped out for a special takeaway. Susie, give us a takeaway. Miss People Skills herself.
What's up, guys? Yeah, definitely stepped out so that I could share if it came down to it. I loved the video. My biggest one was when he said be present in the moment. When he talked about like having like 40 people at like on Easter one time, and him, being appreciative of wherever it is that you're at right now, in order to show the universe that you deserve more, that you're ready for more. So doing the best. If we only have 3 clients right now, doing the best with those. You just got started, you got 3 clients, doing the best with those so that universe knows that you deserve the 100, you deserve the 100 is great, but more than that even. So like that's one of the things that a lot of the times we get lost in, like I only have 2 clients, like I'll get better when I get more, or I'll do different, like I'll do more action once my team starts working, or once people get interested, then I'll get serious. And that's not really how it goes. I mean, I feel like we have great examples of what consistency is and has done for people like within our team. So it's just like us knowing to stay consistent no matter what the result is right now, because that's how we're going to show the universe that we deserve a lot more. So that was my takeaway.
Yeah, that one was fire. The 40, like you said, you dignify the present with your attention, treating the 40, and that creates the 40,000. Love it, fire. All right, next one, let's get Veronica taking notes. Give us a takeaway.
Well, the first one was when he said God gave us a tree. Like, I feel like you guys gave us the tools. Can you guys hear me? Yeah? Okay. I feel like since you guys gave us the tools, you guys showed us how to use them, and now it's our job to put them to work. And also get out of your comfort zone. Like, I remember when I became a distributor and Roxy and Aubrey told me to make like the 100 list. I was so afraid. I'm like, I don't like this, but I never said anything. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just trust what they're saying because they done it. So I did it, and I feel like that just gave me like a step ahead of my goals. And now I'm just used to like getting out of my comfort zone. So thank you guys for that. And yeah, those are my main two.
I love it. Stepping out of the comfort zone. And, that's why teamwork is so great, when it's aligned to tell the steps that maybe not make sense, but that get the result you want. So fired up. Great job, Veronica. On fire now. Giovanna, let's get a takeaway. I see you with the notes.
Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. So I actually, I took like 3 pages of notes. Whoa. I love TD Jakes. The first one was definitely respect the 40 to get to 40,000. I know for me personally, I don't have a ton of team members, but I respect those team members, and I have like PMs who order like every 3 or 4 days because I'm showing them the attention, which is good for like team building for me, because now I know how to like work with one person. That way, when my team does get bigger, I'm not overwhelmed, and I know how to like focus on that one person. Another one was just like Veronica was saying, like we've been given the tools, and I wrote down we're supposed to use, wear, and talk. We were already born with those tools. We know how to talk, we know how to wear stuff, and we know how to utilize stuff. So just put it into action. And then I also said, there's a quote that I live by. And it's pretty spiritual, but it says the will of God will not take you where the grace of God will not protect you. So if none of us couldn't handle being a distributor, we wouldn't be put in this position to be a distributor. So like I know for me, Aubrey and Roxy, they helped me see my full potential in this company. And now me and Bay, we're top 12 currently. But like you have to work on your 40. So they'll see their potential. That way they will go out and build their team. And next thing you know it, July 26th extravaganza, president's team, you know? And then let's see, I think that's pretty much all I got. But yeah, definitely be effective. Respect the team members you got now. I mean, just think about it, guys. If Aubrey and Roxy and Myra and Susie and all the head honchos on our team, if they didn't respect us and like teach us, we'd be sitting here with like no DV at all. But they're utilizing the team members they have. That way we can grow and become better. So happy Monday, everyone.
Fire. Such epic takeaways today. Great stuff. And man, you guys, I love this video. TD Jakes is always giving great nuggets. I'm going to take everybody off mute. Let's have a great Monday. Woo!
Have a great Monday.
Monday, y'all. Let's go change some lives. Let's get it.